Hi guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today we're going to be going over part 1 of the GoPro Hero 2 walkthrough. In this video, we're just going to actually go over all the settings and what they do. This could end up being a 6-part video over the next month. We're also going to go over the time-lapse. We're going to go over how to edit the time-lapse footage. We're going to go over audio testing. So I've got 2 or 3 different mics we're going to test with the GoPro Hero 2 as well as its audio. In the skeleton case, which it's in right now, and the skeleton case is the one where you can link and connect stuff in there, take your SD card in and out. As well, we're going to go over the audio in the waterproof case where everything is sealed and the audio isn't as good, so you guys can actually hear what it sounds like. We're also going to go over slow motion. We're going to shoot some slow motion video, and then we're going to edit it up, and I'll show you how we go about the editing. As well, then in part 6, we'll probably do a summary, and we'll go over some of the different type of equipment you can get for the GoPro Hero 2 that you might want to use. So let's dive right into part 1. So of course, as you guys can see, this is your GoPro Hero 2. On the side, you have a mini HDMI to normal HDMI, and then you have a standard SD card that you just can hit this and pull it right out and then pop it back in. There we go. And then on the sides, you have a mic input, a USB out, and then a TV out. Then you have 2 buttons, one here at the top, one here at the right underneath the LCD screen. This is the one that turns it on. You also have 4 lights that blink. You have one right here in the front. You have one on the top here. You have one in the back right here. You can barely see it. It's right above there. One in the back right there. And then you have one under here. So if you have this set up, where I have all 4 set up to blink while I'm recording, so I know that I'm recording. When they're not blinking, then I know my battery's died or I've run out of footage on my SD card. So it's a good way to let you know if you're still recording. So let's go on and turn it on. All right, so it boots up. So it's going to boot right into Photos. So this is your photo setting. Now if you notice, I have the W set right up here, which means it's going to be a wide angle photo, and then I have my spot meter turned on as well. So it's going to help with my color correction. It's shooting at 11 megapixels, and let's see here. I have 24 pictures that I've already taken, and then this is how many I got left, which is 8,777. And then you have your battery down at the bottom. So just to scoot to your next one, you're just going to hit this button, and that'll take you to your next one. This is continuous shooting. I think it does 10 shots automatically, so let's go on and hit this to actually take the shots. It's going to say busy, and then it's going to snap 10 shots in a second. And there you go, it just took 10 shots in a second. As well, it's set to wide, and it has a spot meter on. So we'll hit this again. This is going to be your time lapse. Every 5 seconds, it will take a picture. You can set it to different settings. We're going to go over that here in a minute. So you have your time lapse. Again, if you notice, the W stands for wide, and then you've got your spot meter on up in the upper right corner. Hit this again. And here we go. If you just want to take a normal shot after 10 seconds. So this is just if you want to preset it, you hit this and you go set up and you get in the shot. It gives you 10 seconds to set up whatever you need to set. Shot is taken. We'll hit this again. Here's your settings tab. We're going to go into that here in a minute. We got one more of these to go over. Your film. I had this set to 1080p at 24 frames per second with wide and the spot meter on. And I have 3 videos I've already taken. So that is that. And to record, all you have to do is just hit this top button and it starts recording, and when you're done, hit it again and it will stop recording. All right, let's go back to our settings tab. We're going to go over all the different settings in this. All right, so you first have the settings to pick which frame rate you want to shoot in. So let's go on and hit. You have a couple different frame rates you can shoot in. You have a 1080p at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 25 frames per second, 1080p at 24 frames per second. You have one, it's a 960 at looks like 48 frames. Now the 960 is kind of cool because it shoots kind of like a square video. We're going to go over some of that in a later tutorial on these videos. Over the next month as I'm making these videos, we're going to go over some of these settings here and you can see what the difference looks like. Then you have a 720p with 60 frames per second. This is what you want to select if you ever want to do slow motion. So I'm just going to go back to 24 because that's what I've been keeping it at. So we'll do that. So we'll go on to the next setting. So here you can pick if you want it to be wide or medium. I like the wide shot, but if you want to go back, you can pick the medium if you just want like a normal looking shot. So I'm going to stick with the wide. Next, this is what megapixels you're shooting at for photography purposes. You have 11 megapixel wide, an 8 megapixel medium, a 5 megapixel wide, and a 5 megapixel medium. Of course, I'm going to keep it on wide. So we'll go back, make sure it's on there. All right, let's proceed on here. All right, so for time lapse, how often do you want to take a picture? You can do it every half second, every 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 1 and 2 seconds. I find 5 seconds is pretty nice, but it depends what you're going to need. So we're going to go with 5 seconds. That is selected. Next, the up and down. So if you're shooting this upside down, you can actually go in and pick up so that it will shoot upside down, but it will look like it's shooting straight up, which is a pretty cool feature if you're, doing any type of like extreme sports where the camera has to be upside down to fit in the position you need it to fit in. So we're going to go back. I'm going to go back to the normal, up. You have your spot meter on. Now this has to do with getting the color and getting the right information when it's shooting. Always have this on. It's very important. All right, now you have this more section where you have a few more functions we're going to go over in here. First is your delete button. So if you need to format your camera, we'll go in. We can format the last thing that was shot, or you can just do it all, which that's exactly what I'm going to do right here. And I'm just going to go on and format the whole card. Now there's nothing on the card. You have your mode here, what it's going to start up. So when the camera first starts up, this is the mode that you want to start up in. I usually keep it in photography mode, and it will start up in photography mode every time it starts up. Your one button. So if you want to turn off all your functions and you just want the bare bones of the camera to shoot, to record and not record, so you can stop and start recording, you can turn this on, and this makes using the camera a lot easier if you don't want any of the extra settings. You have Protune. Now this is a updated firmware. So if you don't have Protunes on your Hero 2, go update it because this allows you to shoot at a higher bit rate when you have it turned on. Pretty much this makes your quality of your picture much better. So I would 100% say if you have this, make sure it's turned on. This is very important. It's going to help with the quality of your camera. So I would definitely turn Protunes on. If you type in Protunes on Google, there's like quite a bit of information about what this does. But the best thing to explain is that you get to a higher bit rate on your film, so therefore your quality of your picture is going to be better. All right, let's proceed on. If you need to switch it from NTCS or PAL, you can vice versa. So people that are overseas outside the U.S. use PAL, and then people here in the U.S. use NTCS. So we'll select NTCS. On-screen display, you can turn that on or off. And then your LEDs, as I was talking about earlier, you have your little LEDs all the way around the camera, and you can pick how many of them you want turned on. Of course, I decided to have all 4 on, so I can always look at my camera in any direction and be able to tell if it's still recording. Sound on or off, I have that turned off. And then the power, I have it turned off to never unless I tell it to, but you can set it to like different time frames, so if it goes idle for too long, the power will just shut off, so you're not wasting battery. Calendar and date here, and time, and then exit. So that is the breakdown of the Hero 2 by GoPro. If you got any questions, feel free to leave a message down below, or leave a comment down below, or shoot me a message, or check us out on Facebook at DAVIDDIMAGE, or Twitter at Media Unlocked. So this will be part 1 of our GoPro series. We're going to have a pretty large part over the next month